Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to the Rooney Toon Report. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter W.
What does the letter W stand for, Jeff?
Ways to not win, Chris. We're going to start off by calling some god-awful offensive plays.
And then you kick 50-plus yard field goals into 25-mile-an-hour winds.
And then you punt when you're down by 2 scores late in the fourth quarter. All right. Well, Jeff, why don't you start us off with why our team sucks?
Oh, well, obviously the only way to make us better at this point is to listen to what I have written on my magical board right here. I've been preaching this for over a year now. Fire Matt Canada. And yet, we still go with the god-awful play calling. And you know what? I'm just going to jump into what I want to see next week. And that is, I want to see Mitch tell Canada to go fuck himself and just start calling his own plays and doing his own thing. And then that will be our key to victory that week.
Yeah, but like we talked about before, Mitch isn't going to do that. He's new to the team. He's not Ben Roethlisberger. He's not, the senior guy.
What's Matt Canada going to do? He's going to yell from the booth?
That's the same thing with
why stuck in the box.
Why we shouldn't put Pickett in, because he's going to be just as restricted from Canada as Mitch Trubisky is right now.
Honestly, I want to see Matt Canada come down from the booth and actually do something about it.
You know what? I've been seeing a lot of people, you say fire Canada, and they go, but who do you replace them with? Like they want a name right off the bat. But I have a name called literally anybody.
Yep. I
Just
agree.
Go through the phone book. Just go through the Pittsburgh area. That was an old reference. My God, go through the phone book.
That's how desperate we are. We literally just go through the phone book.
I talked about tape last week. We're talking about phone books this week.
Just go knock on people's doors and be like, hey, have you ever played Madden before? Would you like to call plays in an NFL game?
Exactly.
We should just ask. Worse. When the bar is below ground level, it can't get worse.
Well, I mean, it's like that everyone argues, oh, we want throw the ball deep. We don't throw the ball deep. Let's wait until there's 40-mile-an-hour winds and let's start throwing the ball deep.
Okay, and they did throw the ball deep, and they went and they were going like in the hurry up offense.
Yeah,
it was twice, and then we went back to the normal.
Yeah,
stupid.
But
we came out in the first quarter, in the first half of that game, and we're like, we're going to show everybody that we know how to run the ball, and we're going to throw those intermediate passes. We're going to throw it deep. We're going to look like we're a functioning offense. And we went and we scored points, and they were like, all right, we proved ourselves. Let's go back to doing the same shit we've been doing.
Yep.
But I did see Najee was just running through the holes, though. He wasn't doing the dance.
Yeah. Well, everyone gets tired of dancing after a while.
Yeah, I mean,
But, I mean, even he kind of petered out at the end.
Yeah.
They really all fell back into the same problems.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. It's like at first it was like, it looked like a completely different offense. Like everything that we've been saying, you need to do this, you need to do this. They all come out, they all do it. And everyone's like, whoa, here we go. Pickett does that catch. I mean, everyone's losing their shit over it. And then we go back to just mundane bullshit.
Yeah.
I think part of that's Tomlin. When you call such a conservative game plan, when you drive down the beginning, you have strong winds and you want to kick a 50-yard field goal, it's a short fourth down. Go for it there. If you convert, that's going to boost everyone's morale.
I think
if you don't do it, everybody understands why you tried.
I think there's been multiple times this year where we've had a short fourth down or, an easy place where we could take a chance on something and it would have paid off. And I mean, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but at the same time, you're not going to know unless you start trying.
Yeah, I mean, at least try once.
Yeah.
I think it all comes back to Tomlin's been burned a lot of times by being aggressive. And ever since right after they changed, they moved back the the extra point, and they were like, we're going to go for 2 a bunch of times. And there was that one game, if you remember, about 10 years ago, where they went for 2 3 consecutive times and they didn't get it. And he never took a chance after that.
Mm-hmm.
He's never taken a chance.
Well, I think he has the worst record for challenges for a coach.
Yeah, he'd rather try to punt and pin the team on the 1 than take a long field goal or go for it and give them the ball at midfield.
Oh, that's all fine and dandy if you're going to have one of the punters from Sunday Night Football. Like, if you want to pin them on the 1, we need one of them. As a matter of fact, one of them actually did play for us last year.
How can you expect anyone to punt well if you have 25-mile-an-hour swirling winds? Because which way is the ball going to go? Is it going to get carried or is it going to fall short? It's kind of hard to tell when the wind changes directions on a moment's notice. It could be blowing out your back, you fucking punt, and next thing you know, it's blowing in your face.
Right.
Yep.
At that point, when it's 4th and 5 or less, go for it. Same thing at the end of the game. Why are we punting when we're down by 2? There's 4 minutes left in the game. Punting's quitting. Why did you continue to play the game if you're going to punt?
Yep.
Just go home. If you're not going to try and win, go home.
Well, and that's the thing. Is winning is a culture. And the Steelers have had that culture of, we play to win. But then, I don't know, this year it just seems like we're okay with taking losses. And we're okay with...
Tomlin doesn't play to win. He plays to not lose. And that only works if you start winning. You have to get ahead to play not to lose. If you're up by 2 touchdowns, it makes sense to punt and try and pin the other team back. If you have all your great pass rushers ready to go, it makes sense to try and pin them within the 5-yard line and try and get a safety. We don't have any of that. We have a struggling offense that maybe it could use that 4th down to try and get 10 fucking yards. And then you get a new set of downs. Now the defense is rested. Now the defense isn't gassed in the 4th quarter or in the second half.
I mean, honestly, playing an extra down on offense would probably actually save our defense close to 10 to 15 minutes of play time, like clock time.
At the very least, if you turn the ball over at midfield, at least the defense doesn't have to get pushed all the way down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Still less time on the field. They're either going to get a 3 and out, or they're going to get driven down the field.
Yeah,
we're a boom or bust defense.
Speaking of our defense, why don't we talk about our sack leader, NFL sack leader, Highsmith?
Okay, before we get into positive, let's get to our Beer Crack Player of the Week. Our Beer Crack Player of the Week is Ice. Not because you iced the kicker, not because you iced the game, but because ice keeps your beer cold. And nothing's more important than when your team sucks than having cold beer to get you through that. So here's to you, Ice.
There was really no bright spot last week. I mean, I guess Pickens had that catch, but I mean,
hey, offensive rookie of the year. He's taking a little time to get started.
You guys thought it was bad when we had the punter as the Beer Crack Player of the Week. You didn't think we could go further down, but here we are at Ice.
Next week, we'll be brought to you also by the letter W for warm beer, because that we'll be excited about.
I just want to go over Ice's impressive stat lines, though. It maintains 32 degrees for multiple hours, can chill a beer within 15 minutes, and can last you almost all day if properly cared for. If our team continues to suck against the Jets, stay tuned for our Beer Crack Player of the Week, koozies.
Man.
I mean, at that point, then the following week's going to be buckets, and...
It might just turn into, like, whiskey barrels, and...
This whole season's been brought to you by Ice Chest.
Blue agave. What?
All right, so Jeff, did you want to get into your bright spot?
Yeah, so let's just talk about the one good thing we got going on. So we have the sack leader. At least we got something going for us. Highsmith, with 4.5 sacks on the year, leads the NFL right now. He's also my fantasy player.
He's also your fantasy player, and you wanted to. You were fighting for him to be the the beer crack player of the week for the first week.
I was fighting for him to be the beer crack player.
He had
first
no
week.
chance the first week. That was Mika's week.
He's our consistent honorable mention every week.
He's the DJ of last year.
Yeah, he's the TJ last year. You know, we didn't want to name him every week, but he's there.
I mean,
I really think that if we can we might have to bring in another pass rusher. I know Taco Charlton's still available, or even just somebody to take the fill the interior of the line, so that Hayward can push out and be a constant pass rusher.
Yeah.
That way, Highsmith can kind of. I mean, right now he's getting double teamed, and he's not good enough to beat double teams. So you kind of need a consistent somebody on the other side that give him those opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the defense and everything, I mean, and this kind of goes into, like, did anyone know that Mika was in concussion protocol?
No, but I do want to talk about concussion protocols and how some teams fudge the shit out of that.
Dolphins. Just
how does?
Oh,
Mika...
shoot! I missed my face. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, Mika Fitzpatrick somehow is in concussion protocol a whole 4 days after he played.
Yep.
Like, how did that happen?
I don't even remember him getting hit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've heard that happen before, but usually it's you hear it on Friday, not Monday.
Yeah,
Tuesday. But speaking of people who totally got a concussion, Tua couldn't stand.
Yeah, he couldn't stand.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know the Dolphins are a shady ass team. They like to break a lot of rules. But I don't see how you walk away from your quarterback collapsing on the field and being like, nah, he's fine. He just had a spinal injury. Which, how the hell is that better? Most people who have spinal injuries get carted off in an ambulance and are released out for the game.
Yeah.
Until further testing. But no, you were like, nah, it wasn't his head. It was his spine. He was just paralyzed for a minute.
I mean, Shazier had a spinal injury and he was out for like 3 years before he was like walking real full.
Yeah, obviously Tua's wasn't that serious, but
no. But still, it's like you can't walk.
That's a day ender at least.
Yeah. And he comes back in and has like the game of his life.
If you get hit and you stand up and then somebody has to hold you, that's you're done for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't understand how he got back in the game.
I mean, I'm glad he did. I had the Dolphins to win. That doesn't happen if
Tua doesn't come back in.
Tua doesn't break every medical protocol rule.
Maybe he didn't actually have one. Who knows?
I could have believed the hit didn't look bad, but he collapsed like 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then his offensive lineman was holding him up, like.
Yeah.
Like the refs over there. The ref's like, I think you should probably go out of the game, and he's like, I'm good. And the lineman's like, yeah, I got him. He's
Yeah, they were weekends and Bernieing the quarterback, and like.
You just see the run, like they start running 2 running backs back there, and they're like standing real close, holding together,
propping them up.
I think Teddy Bridgewater might be better than literally a dead guy. Now, can we just like get a rant? You know who would be better is someone playing Weekend at Bernie's as our offensive coordinator. That would actually be better than Matt Canada.
Probably would be.
It would.
At least we could have the Bills offensive coordinator. He gets fired up in the booth.
They had to cover that screen up. They had to cover the screen up.
Yep. I mean, hey, once again, though, if we start doing shit, and Matt Canada don't approve. He's stuck in a booth. He can't do anything about it.
Well, he
I
can
wanna see
destroy
him.
a booth, as we found out in the Bills.
Yeah.
Go for it. Destroy it. Get passionate about something. He obviously ain't passionate about play calling. You know, speaking of offensive coordinators that were a little ticked off this week, did you see Mahomes and his offensive coordinator got into it on the field? Because I guess Mahomes thinks he knows what he's doing, and I guess he didn't like being corrected.
Yeah, I mean, maybe somebody
Maybe
put
he
a
should come to
word.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Not Mahomes, another one.
Maybe we should trade offensive coordinators.
Oh, Juju would just be in so much love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be just
We'll create another Pittsburgh West.
yeah, because we need more of those.
Go away. Just keep dumping them.
Speaking of Pittsburgh West, I can get into some betting tips, and even though I suck at making actual picks, but I do have a couple of actual good tidbits for once in my life.
Really?
Yeah, one, if the Cardinals are playing at home, bet on them to lose. That just reminded me of Pittsburgh West. Two, when you can pull up the screen because we'll just get into next week.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
So week 3 had a lot of very close games that were a lot of teams considered upsets that weren't upsets. And what I did instead of actually making a parlay was just round robin that shit. And that actually paid. You just take 9 or 10 upset picks, round robin them all together, and it pays. Now, if we're looking at this week, I gotta make my screen bigger. Let's just look at it. We got Dolphins against Bengals. Nothing suggests that the Dolphins will not win this game. So we'll put them into the round robin. Saints.
I mean, it's Thursday night, though. Is Tua going to be cleared?
Tua got cleared for the second half.
He's still labeled as questionable.
If Tua doesn't play, don't bet it. If Tua plays, bet it. Moving on, we got the Saints. Plus 120. The Vikings suck.
I'm still taking the Vikings.
I'm just saying round robin because you don't know and it pays better. Titans. What the fuck are the Colts? We don't know. They tie the Texans. They lose to the Jags. They beat the Chiefs. Who knows what they're going to do? We have no idea what team is showing up. Take the Titans. Moving on. Bears, Giants.
Bears.
See, there you go. Upset again. So far, we are all upsets. Bills, Ravens. Are the Bills still cramping up from Miami? I don't know. Take the Ravens. Fuck it.
I take the Bills.
That hurts me to say. Just take the over. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills. I think that offensive coordinator, he might go down there and play quarterback himself.
I don't think Josh Allen's the problem in Buffalo.
No, it's not.
I would probably leave this one off of the round robin. I don't think the Ravens win this one, especially with the Bills coming off a loss. Moving on, we got Chargers, Texans. Texans beat the Chargers last year.
And the Chargers aren't really looking good.
Keenan Allen's hurt. He might play, but they're missing some pieces. Joey Bosa's hurt. There's an upset there. Seahawks, Lions. Lions can't win a game to save their lives. Might as well take the Seahawks. Of course, Seahawks suck, so probably leave that one off the bet slip.
But definitely take the over. Because the Lions will cover the over on their own and still manage to lose.
Exactly. Jets, Steelers.
That's a fucking hell of a game.
Yeah. Steelers should win this game. Steelers should be favored plus minus 800.
I would definitely take the under, though. There ain't no way in hell we're getting over 40 points in this game.
Zach Wilson's coming back.
Oh.
Take the Jets to win. Fucking hell, we can't win without TJ, so.
Yeah, we're not going to win until TJ comes back.
Yeah, we can pull up the schedule after this so we can see how many games we're going to lose. Moving on, Jaguars, Eagles. I think this is our game of the week here.
Oh, I'm calling Jags are going to take it.
Eagles are playing very good. I keep picking against the Eagles every week, so I'm not going to do it again. Trevor Lawrence is good, but the Eagles pass rush is fucking killing people, especially your fantasy player of the week. was a
Yeah,
great
I'm no longer picking fantasy players of the week. I'm picking your sit-em player of the week.
Let's just talk about how swell of a pick that was. You killed my wide receiver with your pick. I thought I would at least get some trash time points, but
Nope.
no.
Nope.
You know, I left my guy on the bench because I believed that what you were saying was Carson Wentz was going to chuck the ball around.
I started Carson Wentz in a fantasy league.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, I almost won.
Yeah, you could have started Tua with a broken back / concussion and probably would have won.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Cleveland probably wins that game, so we'll just keep moving on from that.
No, I'm going Falcons.
Of course you are. How long can Cooper Rush maintain the idea that he's a good quarterback?
Well, as long as Carson Wentz sits on his ass.
Yeah, I mean, the Commanders suck, and Carson Wentz is horrible. But how long can the Cowboys keep the facade that Cooper Rush is an NFL quarterback? He's a quarterback that at some point will shit the bed. Could it be this week? Put him in the round robin. Cardinals, Panthers. What did I say about the Cardinals? Cardinals lose at home. They're in Carolina. Take the Cardinals.
Take the Cardinals.
And Baker Mayfield doesn't protect his house.
Well, that's why he has insurance. Broncos, Raiders. Raiders probably get a win here.
Yeah, I think they're the only winless team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, Denver really doesn't have it all together. It's in Las Vegas. It's not like a big travel day for Denver, but Raiders got to win at some point. They actually have a pretty good team. Packers are going to win. Don't put the Patriots in the round robin.
Right now I don't think Mac Jones is even playing.
Yeah, Brian Hoyer is not going to lead the charge.
Did you see
Brian
Belichick's?
What?
Do you see Belichick's press conference when they asked him about who he's starting at quarterback, and he literally was like, "Oh, well, we have like he didn't want to say the names of who he wanted or who their options were even. Like I think he's already moving on to the next week.
Moving on, Buccaneers could it's Tom Brady. How are you gonna count Tom Brady out? If Tom Brady's an underdog, take the bet. Take the money line.
Well, I mean, you never count Tom Brady out because he'll just ask the rest to get.
Yeah, I mean he'll,
Yeah, that's what
he's
you're
got
saying.
4 or
You
5
take the
extra
money line.
players
The
on
money
the
line
field.
pays for the win.
Ooh, Rams.
he's got-
49ers. I was high on the 49ers until last week.
Yeah, last week was a disappointment. The Rams are getting in gear. I do not understand why they are an underdog. Did Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald all go down?
I don't know.
Are they taking this week off? Because I'm a little confused on why they're an underdog. Might want to look into why this is an underdog. I don't know if they have a horrible track record when going to San Francisco. But yeah, I would put the Rams on the this is actually my lock of the week, which probably means take the Niners. But my lock of the week is the Rams. It's my upset and lock of the week.
Garoppolo.
Yeah, start
Run out the back
Garoppolo
of the end
fantasy, y'all. Chiefs Buccaneers though. At first I was like, Chiefs losing 2 games in a row, probably not going to happen. But you got Tom Brady's not going to lose 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
So I think, and it's in Tampa.
So it's going to tie. They're going to tie.
Yeah, bet this one to tie. Yeah, like I said, if you
Very
round robin
here.
that, every game that I said had a chance for the underdog to win, that is 10 games. If you round robin all that together and put $2 on each one, it'll pay you like $3,000. And you only got to get 4. Only 4 of the upsets have to happen. And you'll make your money back plus.
All right.
So that's my new theory until I get it figured out better. This is next week.
Oh.
I just didn't crop it.
Gotcha.
But let's talk a little bit about. I want to keep talking about Chiefs Buccaneers because I think we saw it a little bit last week with the Bills going to Miami. Players don't know how to play in the heat.
No, they don't.
They don't know how to prepare for the heat. I deal with this shit at work all the time with people not knowing how to drink water. It's gonna be 95 degrees out. Make sure you bring water. They bring a Dixie cup and a fucking 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
You forgot about the 3 gallons of Monster.
Yeah, they're switching out between Monster and Mountain Dew all day, and then they throw up and they wonder why. And the Bills didn't do that. They started a water regimen, which means they went on the complete other end of the spectrum, where they drank so much water they pissed out every single electrolyte in their body and cramped.
Mm-hmm.
Don't overdrink water.
It's almost like
forget to drink water.
It's almost like there's a sponsor. When you win, they dump it on the coach. What is that stuff, Chris? Do you remember what that's called?
Is it Gatorade?
Oh, that's right. It's almost like it's formulated to keep you hydrated, give you some electrolytes. Obviously, there's the sugar side of it, but it's like it's on the sideline.
Well, sugar gives you energy while you're performing.
Yeah.
And you know what makes Gatorade great is when it's cold.
Yeah.
And you know what helps keep things cold? Our beer
Ice.
crack player of the week.
Yep, ice.
It all ties back. We're not circling back, we're tying back.
So speaking of top player performance, let's talk about something that we haven't seen in over 12 years. Chris, put it up. He's finally free, guys. He's finally free.
He will never be free. He will never be free because he makes dumbass fucking comments on ESPN and other talk shows. And anytime he does, he will always get the comment, "You ran out of the back of the end zone."
But now
no one will ever forget you.
Which is funny because on this day in history, the Detroit Lions beated the Washington Redskins. Yes, that was 2 name changes ago. And a 19-game losing streak back from December 2007. So it's kind of fitting that someone finally ran out the back of the end zone and played a dumbass move like he did. And it was on almost the same day that they broke their losing streak.
That was an impressive day for them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You would have thought they won the Super Bowl when they won their first game.
Oh, yeah. You look, Cleveland had a losing parade when they went 0-16.
And then we ruined their first win by tying them.
Yeah.
Because we were playing the long con there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did it screw us the whole rest of the year? Yeah.
Yes.
So another interesting.
Ruined their winning victory.
So another interesting fact too on this day in NFL history, in the year 2000, Don McNabb signed a 12-year, $20.5 million contract that made McNabb the highest paid player in NFL history.
He signed a 12-year, $20 million contract.
A 12-year contract that involved the $20.5 million signing bonus, but he was still the highest paid player in NFL history at that point.
What was the contract?
Oh, no, it doesn't say. But
Good fact,
Jeff. Always me. It's always me.
I buzzed how many times I buzzed Matt last week.
It's true.
You want to know why? Because Hines Ward belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Oh my god!
You know he's top 20 for touchdowns all time.
Oh my god.
Every week he's going to make his point. All right, Matt, get on your soapbox. Here you go. Make your point.
No, we don't need this to go 2 hours. We don't need this to go 2 hours.
No,
we can talk about Hines Ward.
Look, I talked about receptions last week. We'll talk about how he was top 20. Also, he hasn't played in 10 years. He's still top 20.
Really?
Yes. So there's players who played an entire career and did not pass him. And yet people have the nerve to think he's not a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Let's move on from our shitty past couple weeks and let's go ahead and look at the rest of the season.
The rest of our shitty season.
Yeah, let's go ahead and see how terrible it's gonna get.
All right. Well, hopefully I can find it. That's not it.
All right, let's just.
Hi, Watt. We miss you. Please come back. Oh, well, let's hear. So the Jets, unless the Jets just totally jetted up.
Yeah, so we gotta hope we beat the Jets. Is our only chance of not going 1-7 into the bye week. At least then we can be 2-6, because we're not gonna beat Buffalo.
No.
Not with the way we're playing.
You know, we
are not gonna beat the team that hardly ever punts. They never punt. They punted 2 times in 6 games.
But we play better against higher ranked opponents.
We used to.
TJ plays better against higher ranked opponents. We play like ass 24/7. So then after we get our asses kicked by Buffalo, we get to play Tampa Bay.
At least we're not in Tampa.
Defense apart with no pass rush. Not to mention their defense is playing lights out, trying to make up for the fact Tom Brady's 45. Then we move on to Miami, who just beat Buffalo, and Buffalo's going to spank our ass hard. What do you think Miami's going to do?
It's Sunday night, though. We play better on Sunday night.
Yeah, anything's possible on any given Sunday, especially when your team sucks. And then we have the Eagles, who have the pass rush that we should have. How are we going to beat them? How are we going to beat Jalen Hurts running all over us?
Yeah, we're not.
I think if DJ comes back for the Philly game, I think we could upset him. But I don't see him coming back for that.
And then we get our bye week.
That's going to be a great week of relief because we are seriously looking at losing the next 6 games.
Yeah.
And then our schedule gets kind of hard. Cincinnati, New Orleans plays good. They have a good defense, and Jameis Winston probably won't be hurt. The only reason they lost the last 2 weeks is because Jameis Winston's hurt. Cincinnati probably has their shit together by this point in the season.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, who the hell knows?
They're wild card.
Nobody knows. They don't know. That's for sure.
Also,
I will go back. Cincinnati on Sunday night in Pittsburgh. That's playing in our favor.
I know this is way down the line. I didn't realize we played Christmas Eve.
Well, yeah, it's the anniversary of the Immaculate Reception.
They're retiring Franco Harris's number.
They're retiring Franco, and they were playing the Raiders.
Yeah.
Hopefully we cannot shit the bed on that one.
Yeah.
Then we get a relief in Atlanta, so there's a W.
Is it?
Yeah, then we play Baltimore. We got Baltimore's number at this point. Carolina, Baker Mayfield sucks. Las Vegas. With Franco Harris there, I feel like we probably pulled a win out here. But, I mean, really, we have a chance of winning. We're probably going to lose at least one of these games after the bye week. And that's granted TJ Watt comes back. I think we can beat any team on this list, but we are going to drop at least one.
Right.
And what's that put us at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ooh, I got it. It's gonna.
So we're looking at 9-7, a classic Tomlin season where we still get to say Tomlin never had a losing record. Who would you get to replace him? A 10-year-old playing Madden. That's who I would get to replace him.
How are we 9-7?
We have 1 win.
It'd be 9-8.
Oh, fuck you. I fucking hate this whole extra game. It's terrible.
So you still have the projection that they have a winning season.
Yeah, especially if we can beat the Jets.
If we were to beat the Jets and you had to pick one of the 4 games before the bye week for us to win, which one would you think we have the best shot at?
The Jets.
No, other than the Jets.
Other than the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. Because, like I said, Buffalo, Super Bowl favorite. Tampa Bay, always in the Super Bowl running. Miami just beat the Super Bowl favorite. Philadelphia is undefeated so far this year.
They're due for a crash, though.
Also, we have not beat Philly in Philly since like 1963.
Hey, that's
So what makes you think this is going to be the year?
I have a feeling.
Just to point out another thing, if the Steelers manage to roll out the Matt Canada special turd offense and we lose to the Jets, what is all of Pittsburgh going to be clamoring for? Kenny Pickett time. And if Tomlin's spineless ass fucking folds to the fans and puts Pickett in, he will then get completely murdered for 4 weeks and his career will be over. So don't be trying to get Pickett into the game because this is not the time.
Right.
I don't see them putting Pickett in. I don't. It's just not going to happen. The fans can ask for whatever they want. It's not going to happen. They're sticking with Mitch till the end of the year, and that's what it's going to be.
I mean, if Mitch comes out and he overthrows a bunch of receivers and everything looks like shit against the Jets, put Rudolph in.
Huh?
He said put Rudolph in, but he's saying it so we don't ruin Pickett's career.
I'd rather just let Mitch keep throwing it.
Week 4, I said this last year too. Week 4 is the week that everything should come together. You had a lot of new pieces on offense. You don't get a lot of training time anymore. Week 4 is the week that your offense should be putting it together. And you're playing the Jets, which really isn't a great team. If they're not going to put it together week 4, maybe just bench Mitch for a game. See if he gets a fucking fire lit under his ass. Now, on one hand, he could have an advantage in Buffalo because he was there for a year.
Yeah.
He might know some of their secrets. I don't know how much that matters.
I mean, just knowing the playbook. I mean, it doesn't seem like Buffalo changed much out of their playbook.
Yeah, but their playbook is their quarterback's huge with a cannon arm.
Well, maybe he can take
the
some
quarterback
and use
the quarterback throws like Aaron Rodgers and runs like Lamar Jackson. I mean, come on. A lot of people really whiffed on not drafting him. I don't see this being a very good year. This is going to be hell to the bye week. We're going to be thankful for this bye week coming up.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking a lot about Hines Ward because I don't think we're going to have a lot of positive things to say in the next 6 weeks.
Well, maybe they'll surprise us.
Well, what are we looking for out of next week?
I mean, it's just going to be the same shit we talk about every other week.
We need a defensive stand.
Our defense isn't the problem, though.
But the defense,
they can't do a defensive stand when our offense goes 3 and out 4 times in a row.
I just want to see Tomlin actually say, "Let's go for it." You know, when your offense isn't doing the greatest, sometimes putting more confidence in them is all they need. Just an extra play to try and make something happen. So when you're in that no man's land of a long field goal or a short punt, go for it. Just go for it.
What do you think about utilizing some trickery on special teams?
That has never. We're not very good at that.
With the punt formation.
Yeah, we're not really good at that.
So you can't tell me that, with having players like Derek Watt and Hayward on the punt formation that you couldn't do something?
I think you could. I think other coaches could.
I mean, I just think, we have that level of skill position to where we could probably do some trickery. And I think that we could, like, if it was a 4th and 2 and we're punting, I think we could pull a fast one. I'm not saying every time. You just have to leave the window open.
You gotta.
I mean, look,
Tomlin will never put in the option to allow, Presley Harvin or Derek Watt to make a hot call while on the field to be like, hey, the defense looks like they're going to peel back and just run backwards. Let's try and fake it. He'll never give them that option. So, I mean, we're really just like, what other – did you find a magic lamp or something that you got 3 wishes? Because we could wish for better than go for it on special teams.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at, you have to almost reinvent the wheel a little bit, and you got to pull some tricks.
I don't think you do. I think when it's 4th and 3, just call a quick slant, a freaking out route. It's 3 yards. It's not that hard to get. Leave your offense out there. Give them some confidence. Confidence goes a long way.
Yeah.
Showing that you have any faith in them to pick up 1 yard goes a long way. And, if they don't get it, I mean, how many times will a defense just jump off sides? You can get that all the time. Trubisky on a rollout, he could probably run for a yard.
I will say I would like to see Trubisky maybe run a little bit more, use his legs versus...
in the first half of the game, he was doing rollouts, which got him in a different position to throw straight to receivers, and he was being able to throw the ball downfield. And it got the defense off-centered, and it allowed those holes to open up for Najee Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they should move the pocket. That's the Canada offense that we hear about. We don't ever see it.
And I think Herbstreit said this during the game that Trubisky is more comfortable doing those rollouts than sitting in the pocket.
Yeah, I think
definitely.
I saw a thing where Trubisky's shorter than what he's listed at on his height. And that maybe he struggles to see over the offensive line. So when you move him left or right, then he sees the field better. Because he's shorter. He's shorter than Kenny Pickett, and he's shorter than Mason Rudolph. He's still like 6 foot, but when you're standing behind 6'5", 6'8" guys.
Well, you're also used to having Big Ben sitting back there.
Yeah, and I think if we do more rollouts, it's gonna open up the field for Trubisky, and he's gonna make a lot better plays. And it's gonna open up because if the linebackers get used to Trubisky rolling out, they're gonna try and chase him out. And then that's going to leave it open when you do call a run play because they're going to take that one step to the side. And then Najee Harris hits the hole as long as he's not on Dancing with the Stars. And next thing you know, he's 5-10 yards down the field.
Do we have any receivers that would fit that kind of Randall L type position where if we were to, it would look like a screen pass, but then they end up chucking it down the field, hitting Pickens. Or
wide receivers that used to play quarterback. A wide receiver that used to play quarterback? Hines Ward. Hines Ward used to play quarterback. He could chuck the ball down the field. But as far as active wide receivers, no, we don't. I
mean, I would like to see a player that I know, obviously he muffed the punt, but in the preseason, Gunner was killing it. He was going after passes. He was running great routes. I would love to see him take a bigger step in the offense. And it's just another player moving around.
Who do you bench?
See, it's one of those things you have to cycle him in. So if anything, I would probably bring him in and out with the tight ends.
I will say I think we noticed one thing. We did a lot of 2 tight ends. Gentry was in blocking a lot, which I think helped the run game. And we didn't see Freiermuth to the very end, which I think was more Trubisky not seeing the middle of the field. Which brings me to another bet tip. Pat Freiermuth, for some reason, FanDuel hates him. He has exceeded his over-under on yardage every week this year.
Even last
He didn't catch a ball until halfway through the fourth quarter. He still beat his over-under by 10 yards.
Wow.
So always take the over on Freiermuth.
Same thing with Deontay Johnson. They keep his over-under at about 55 yards.
Well, they're probably looking at the fact that, if Trubisky's only going to throw for 180 yards and 55 of it goes to Deontay Johnson and 20 of it goes to, you start running out of yards.
You do, but somehow the yards are showing up for the receivers. Claypool's really not getting yards.
Mm-hmm.
No.
He gets a couple rushes and maybe a catch or two. Pickens, he's had one catch. He had more than one catch, but he's had one significant catch.
It was a good catch.
It was a really good catch. It's Freiermuth and Deontay Johnson catching all the balls. Well, they're getting all the yards. Najee Harris is getting like 80% of the completions. Do you think Pickens continues his emergence into the offense?
Oh yeah, I think Pickens is still definitely, he's growing. Every week he's taking a little bit more and more. He's taking bigger steps. He's making a bigger name for himself. It's just giving Trubisky the time and getting Trubisky to get to him in the reads.
Well, you get Trubisky in the right spot on the field, I think he can get it to Pickens.
Yeah.
And I think Pickens showed that he can catch it anywhere.
Yeah.
You don't have to be accurate.
Yeah.
You just got to get within like 10 feet.
Yeah.
You know what other rookie receiver really went off this week? My start of the year fantasy player and this last week's fantasy player of the week, Romeo Doubs.
Yeah.
Everyone thought I was crazy for picking someone such an oddball receiver to break out, but he had almost like 20 points.
Yeah, and you didn't start him in fantasy.
I started him in FanDuel.
FanDuel, but you didn't.
Not the one that matters.
It's not the one that matters.
They all matter. Just wanted to bring in that gloat that sometimes I do say things that are right.
All right, guys. Here we go, Steelers. Let's go.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week on the Rooney Toons Report. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah.
Going.
Yeah, let me see it. Let me see that arm pad jiggle. Yeah.
Hey, when you come back into Pittsburgh, you should take a picture with Franco.
You just have to act like a total tourist and have somebody take your picture. I don't like any quotes longer than the Nike quote.
Just do it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that our beer cracks are a little are getting jinxed.
Oh God, I'm gonna create global warming. This is the last week you're ever gonna see ice. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me that Jeff is drunk as shit because he thinks the Steelers can win.